as you can see on my screen, that PyCharm on my device. Now you can see that the list which I made in my previous class, I'm going to be using the same things. Okay, so I'm going to show you. First thing is that how you will be able to edit up your index in your list in Python. Now, in my last class, I've shown you about how you'll be able to use this ratio to get your exact data. So first thing, what we need to do over here is make some space or make myself a line, and then I'm going to put in, let's say, company. And there we go, we have company. And instead of putting up a space, I'm going to open up my square bracket. And then I'm going to do is going to be change any one of these data. So to change any one of these data, what I'm going to do is going to be select any one. So let's say I'm going to fix or change ref. Okay. So instead of ref, I want it to show me, let's say, Raphael. So what I'm going to do is going to be first off, select the number of index. So let's say 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to put in 3 as my index. So after that, I'm going to use it as a variable, and I'm going to put in an equal. And instead of ref, I want it to put Raphael. So I'm going to put in Raphael. There we go. So that is basically done. And now what I'm going to do is going to be changing up this criteria too. So instead of print, I'm going to do is going to print company. And then I'm going to put in company. There we go. And now I'm going to put in the square bracket inside, and I'm going to use that specific value, which is going to be 3. So the 3 is going to be changed. So if I play the whole thing, you can basically see Raphael is being printed out. Now, if you want to print out the whole thing, you can also do that. So if I just cut off this bracket and if I just play it up, you can basically see Nezuko to Raphael, your and red. So now you can see that we have edited ourselves of the data, but we did not remove that specific part. Okay, so this is how it's going to look like, and you have to follow up these steps. Now, the next thing, what I'm going to be showing you is going to be a bit more advanced functions of Python of making lists. So first thing, what we need to do over here is that we're going to keep this just the way it is, and I'm just going to remove out this part. And instead of this one, I'm going to put another line, and I'm going to put in another criteria or another list. So if I put in, let's say, good numbers, okay? So if I put in good numbers, I'm going to put in an equal, and I'm going to put in a square bracket, and I'm going to put in a couple of numbers. So if I put in 7, comma, I'm going to put in 90, comma, I'm going to put in like 123, 123, comma. If I put in 8, or let's say I'm going to put in 9, comma, 32, comma, let's say 63, and I'm going to put in the last number, which is going to be 200. Okay, that's basically it. Now, what I'm going to show you is that how you'll be able to customize your list. And the first thing I want to show you is how you'll be able to concatenate these data, or concatenate both of these lists. So to concatenate both of these lists, we have to use a specific function, which is called .extend. So what I'm going to do here is we have this print company, okay? But instead over this, I'm going to put in another one. Let's say I'm going to put in company. First off, use your variable, and then put in dots, and I'm going to put in extend. There we go. Now, when I've used extend, I'm going to open up my parentheses, and instead of putting in our numbers, we're going to use another variable, which is good number. So I'm going to put in good number, and there we go. So we have good numbers as the variable, and now I want to print out the whole thing. So if I play it now, you can see all of them are now concatenated. So this is how simple and easy it is to concatenate multiple lists together, okay? Now, if you want to use like multiple of them, you just have to type it right beside it, okay? So that's how simple it is. Now, you might think that we have put it in a concatenated value, like it ends from here and then adds up again from here, okay? So I'm going to use another command or another function, which is called append. So I'm going to append up certain data. So first things first, I'm going to remove out this one, instead of extend, I'm going to put in append. Okay, so here we have append, and now we also have that specific value. So if I want to put any specific value inside of that data, what I want to do is that I want something to add up. Let's say I'm going to put in double quotation first and TO. And you'll basically see that this specific value or this specific data will be added inside of this specific list. So if I print it out, you can basically see the zip code to raf, false, your, red, and TO. Okay, so this is how you'll be able to concatenate and also add it up inside your list together. Now, if I want to put in another specific value inside of a specific index number in our listed order, we can also use another function, which is going to be called dot insert. So if I want to change it, let's say I'm going to cut this off and I want to put in company and dot insert. Okay, so insert is going to change that value up, or just put in that specific value inside of that specific index number. So if I want to use, first off, we have to put in the index. So the index goes such as 1 or 0, 1, 2. So beneath or like between 2, I want another specific value to be added up. So here I'm going to put in number 2 over here, put in a comma, and then inside of that, in double quotation, I'm going to put in, let's say, it's going to be called Titan. Okay, so Titan is the name, and if I just play it up, you'll basically see Titan will be added on the second index. Now, if I want to change up the number, first off, let's just change the name. If I change up the name and if I put in Umbro, play it up, it will be changed. You can see Umbro is over here. Now, if I want to change up the index, I'm going to just change up the number. Let's say I'm going to put in 5. So if I play it, you'll basically see Umbro is now on the 5th index of this specific list. Okay, so now you know about how you'll be able to add in that specific value inside of that specific index. Now, what if you want to remove any specific data from any specific list? For that reason, you have to use the specific function called remove. So I'm going to remove out that. So I'm going to put in remove over here. And then you're going to do is going to be adding in the name which you want to remove. So if I want to remove your, and if I just put in double quotation inside of it, there we go. I'm just going to put it over here. Double quotation and double quotation over here. Okay, so if I just press on play right now, you'll basically see your will be removed from that specific list. Okay, now if I want to remove like numerical values, I can also do that. I'm just going to type in 2, and if I play it up, you'll basically see it will give you this type of error. But to fix it up, what you're going to do is just remove out these quotations, because this is now, you know, just turned as a number. So if I play it, you can see that 2 will be removed from that specific list. Even if I want to change or remove the Boolean or the Boolean value inside my list, I'm just going to type in what it is. So if I type in false, and I'm going to just remove this, play, and you can see false or the false value inside of the list has been removed. Now, what if you want to remove out the whole list altogether? So for that, you have to use the command or the function which is called clear. So I'm going to just remove out the specific value over here, and I'm going to type in clear. Okay, so clear, and then you have to put in the self. So I want the whole thing to be removed. So if I just play it right now, you'll basically see everything inside the list will be removed. Now, another thing, what I can do is if I want to remove out another variable. So what I'm going to do is going to be just remove out this. And if I put in goods, and if I put in numbers dot clear, and over here, I'm also going to remove this value. And if I put in another variable, goods numbers, and if I play it, you'll basically see that specific value will also be removed. So if I change this, and if I just put it another or put in another value, such as it could be pop or it could be insert. So if I want to append it, append, And if I just put in any specific value, let's say I'm going to put in, or let's say here, I'm going to put in 8. So if I play it up, it will give me 8 inside of that specific value. So now you can see that we will also be able to work with numerical values and alphabetical values at the same time. So basically, this is how simple it is to work with Python. Now, if you want to remove out any random number out of your list, what you can do is just cut this off. And then you're going to do is go and putting in pop inside. So after pop, what you're going to do is just keep this open and play it up. And you can basically see any one number like from there is going to be removed. So 90, 123, 9, 32, 63, and 200 is missing. If I play it back again, you'll basically see another number is now removed. Okay, so this is how simple it is. Okay, now the next thing what I want to show you is going to be the count function over here. So if you want to count any specific function, what you're going to do is going to be just typing in count and putting in a specific value. So I'm going to do is going to be removing this. If I put in dot count, now over here, what I'm going to do is going to putting in another value. Let's say it could be 200. So if I just play it up, you can basically see 200 is right over here and has been added inside. But this is 2 times, so it just counted up how many numbers there are inside of the list, and it just uses one of the value instead of 2. Now, if I want to find out any specific value or the index of any specific value, I can also use a specific command, and it's going to be called index. Okay, so open up index, and then what you're going to do is going to be finding out which value you want to search for. So if over here, I'm going to just type in, let's say 123, and I'm going to search for that 123. And if I just hit on play, you'll basically see it will still give me the same number like this. But we have to use any specific value, or we have to change out the way it looks like. So what I'm going to do over here is that we're going to remove out this value. And instead of using this over here, we're going to work with this over here. So I'm going to put in print good numbers. And then over here, I'm going to put in another one. Let's say I'm going to put in dot index. And inside of this index, I'm going to search for that specific value. Let's say I'm going to put 123. If I just hit on play now, you can see that we have 2 as the answer, and this is number 2 on the index. Now, if I just change up the variable, if I put in company now, company dot index, and if I just put in ref, double quotation, let's start off with over here, and if I play it up, and you can see ref is also 2. If I want to find out the Boolean value, I have to type in false. Hit on play, and there you can see we have it on the 3rd index. Okay, so we also done our list. Now the next thing what I want to show you is how you want to sort out any specific value. So first thing what I'm going to do over here is that we're going to remove out this one, print. And in print, and I'm going to do is going to be opening up, let's say, good numbers. And inside of good numbers, I'm going to put in another value. But here, I'm going to do is going to be, first off, let's just apply another line of command. So if I put in good numbers, and I'm going to do is going to be dot sort. There we go. I'm going to put in sort. And now I'm going to go off to the next line again. And if I want to sort them out, if I just have to customize our numbers and keep them let's say jumbled up. And if I just play it up, you can see 7 and then 9 and then 32. It's going on an ascending order. Now, if you want a reverse value, you just have to put in the command of reverse. Now, if I just reverse the value, just play it up, and it will reverse it up on a descending order. Okay, now I'm gonna do is going to be putting in another variable, and I'm gonna copy out that specific variable just by using a command. So what I'm gonna do over here is cut this off, and if I put in company 2. I'm going to put in equal, and I'm going to put in, let's say, company dot copy. So as I have company dot copy, it's also going to have the same value over here. Now I'm going to do is going to be just change up company 2 and print it out. Company 2. Now if I just play it up, we basically see it will have the same value, but both of them are of the same variable. Let's say not the same variable, but the same data with the different variable. Okay. So thank you for watching this video up till the very end and hope you understood about everything in this class. If you still have any confusion, feel free to ask me anytime. I'm always there to help you out. In addition, I'm just going to show you how you'll be able to change up different variables or work with different variables too. So if I just put in, instead of company, I'm going to put in, let's say, good numbers, or let's say I'm going to put in good numbers too. And I'm also going to change up the value over here. Good numbers. Okay, now the good numbers, I'm going to change it this one too. Good numbers too. And if I play it, it will have the same value. And you'll be able to work with multiple functions at the same time too. So, without any further ado, let's move on to our next class of Python.